Welcome to Bloombox Growing Deeper. I'm Sarah.
I'm Hannah, and we're on a mission to help you become the gardener you want to be.
Welcome to Bloombox Growing Deeper.
Hello, everybody. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
And are nice and full of maybe not always turkey, but some delicious food that you shared with people you enjoy.
It was also Indigenous Peoples Day, so I hope that you were able to celebrate that in some way as well.
Maybe just remembering that it is an okay way to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And now
we get into the capitalist side of things. That happens after Thanksgiving.
And we're going to fully support you in that endeavor.
If that's what you want to do, you should do it.
If that's not,
just make sure some of it makes it to us.
Don't forget that Giving Tuesday is also coming up if you are more that type of gifter.
Absolutely. Giving Tuesday is tomorrow, and we have set a $30,000 goal to raise not on Giving Tuesday alone, but by the end of the year. So if you want to help us get there, go to plantnebraska.org/donate. You don't have to give on Giving Tuesday for it to count. You can give right now. You could pause it.
Okay, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. And we're going to talk, if you haven't guessed, about gifts today. It's Cyber Monday. So we're going to talk about gifts for gardeners. And if you've got a gardener who's very hard to gift for, but cares deeply about organizations, donating in their name can be a great gift.
Yes, you could donate to the Nebraska Statewide Arboretum in their name. It's very easy to do on plantnebraska.org/donate. When you go through that donate page, just hit the little button that says this is an honor or tribute to someone. They don't have to be dead. That's the other thing.
Right. We can honor people while they're still around.
Yes, and even better, they know about it. So you can do that. You write their name in, and we can even send them a little note on your behalf if you'd like. Or you can do that. You get to pick.
And because it's Cyber Monday and because we're a statewide organization coming to you through a podcast, so actually we could be coming to you in a country other than the United States, as we recently learned from our data that we checked. If Cyber Monday is easier for us to talk about and to give you ideas for, but Small Business Saturday is coming up.
Absolutely.
And a lot of gardeners deeply appreciate gifts that come locally and from small businesses that they want to support. So don't forget to shop for your gardeners locally, too.
Yeah, it's really hard for us to talk about small business. I mean, there's a few in Lincoln that I know about that I always try to support the Wild Bird Habitat store by buying gifts from there, different places like that. So just think about that.
Yes. I know our town has Christmas craft fairs all over town, and nights when our local stores are open late around this time of year, so keep an eye out for that in your town. I think that's more of a small town thing, but most of our downtown businesses close at 7, so on our Christmas Village night they're open till 9, and apparently we're having a lighted Christmas parade. Very excited about this.
So exciting.
Yes.
Are you the town that got Lincoln's old parade when our Christmas parade went
I don't
away?
know. I guess this has been going on for a while, but not on the right, it's been on a weeknight or something.
Yeah.
So they recently changed it to a Saturday. So keep an eye out for that in your town. If you're in a smaller town like that, there might be a night when all of your local businesses are highlighted in a special way for holiday shopping.
Yeah. In Lincoln, they call it Shop the Blocks.
Okay.
For downtown small businesses. I think the Downtown Lincoln Association puts it on.
That makes sense. Yep. Or ours is our Chamber of Commerce. Yep. So, yeah. But today we're going to talk about just some maybe more run-of-the-mill gifts.
Sure.
But they can be made really special if you know. We're going to talk about knowing your gardener before you start buying.
Yeah, and we recognize that we're probably talking to the people who would want these gifts. So feel free to send this episode to your friends and family.
Yeah.
And say, at marker 25 minutes, I want that. There you go.
And I have trouble sometimes giving out my Christmas wish list. I get asked for it every year, and I'm like, well, I know the stuff that I would spend money on myself, but I need a way to tell you what I would like. So feel free to use us as a way to hint to your
hint heavily
gift givers what types of things you would like, and maybe we can help give some insight into what gardeners really like to receive.
Absolutely.
What's something you don't like to receive as a gardener for a gift?
I don't like to receive like lawn ornaments.
Yeah.
I'm not a big ornament person. I like plants in my garden.
Right.
So I have a couple of things that I bought for myself. My brother-in-law is an artist, so he created an art piece that I purchased from him and put in my garden, and I like that because it has that connection.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't really put things in my garden.
I would agree. I'm not like pick it up at Hobby Lobby garden decorator, but I do really like unique art for my garden.
Yes.
But in small numbers. I want my garden to be mostly plants. So that would get rough if somebody was giving me a decoration every single year, and I felt like I had to keep adding to them all.
Yeah. But I think it just brings out this, like, you need to know the gardener that you're working with, because Toby, our coworker, got his mom, and I won't say too much about it because I don't know if she listens, but
I think there's a good chance she does.
Yeah, got her a gift for her lawn that he's really excited about.
But he knows that she will love it.
But he knows that she's going to love it.
Yes.
So,
and there are people who love to include items in their gardens, especially like maybe more cottage style gardeners. I see lots of very cute and well integrated decorations that they've mixed in with their flowers.
Right. Well, you know, gnomes made a comeback.
I do love a gnome. I have my gnome here.
Right.
He's not really a garden gnome. He's an indoor gnome. But
do you want to know something fun?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, for my bedside table light, I used a mini Christmas tree, like a tabletop Christmas tree. And I would decorate it for the season.
Oh, I love that.
And so I had lawn flamingo ornaments that I would put on it
for the summer. That is fun.
Yeah.
Some people love a flamingo.
Right, yeah.
That's not me, but some people do love a flamingo. So.
Well, yeah, I know for a while those the geese that you could change the clothes on were popular.
I must have missed this.
Oh, yeah. It was like you could get lawn ornament geese, and then they
dress them up.
You would change. They like had set clothing for every holiday.
Yeah. I'm gonna decline to comment on that one.
Okay, all right.
Our neighbor does dress up the bears in their yard. Her husband is a chainsaw artist, and so I think they have 3 really cool bears in their yard, and it fits really well. Their yard is like north facing, and it's full of these old walnut trees, so it's very woodlandy looking. And she dresses them up. They wear Easter bunny ears, and they wear something for Halloween. Yeah. And they hold like a flag in the summer. And it's a little bit, so it's cute.
But not too far. She found the line.
She found the line.
Yeah, very good. So, I just think it's important to know the gardener. And so keep that in mind as we go through this. Some gardeners especially think about what type of gardening they do. If they are interested in vegetable gardening and that's mostly what they do, they might want something different than when they are interested more in loose native gardening.
Or trees. Or they're really big tree people. We're even going to talk about mushroom gardeners.
Yeah, which is not me. I don't like mushrooms.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
So
I don't know if I would like to grow them.
But you might.
But I might. I don't know. Maybe someone should gift me a mushroom growing kit and we'll find out.
There you go.
So we've loosely separated our gift ideas into useful tools, garden accessories, garden adjacent activities. And then we are going to talk about some larger purchases because some people do like save their really big investments for Christmas, or they do something together as a family that they're going to get into. So we do have a couple really large items. Otherwise, we tried to range in price. We're not necessarily going to tell you where to get these things. We're just going to make
giving
suggestions.
you ideas.
Yep. So go for a first one.
And we're going to start with tools?
Yeah, let's start with tools. That seems like the most predictable.
Okay. Gardening tools. First of all, good quality tools. I don't need these floral print tools unless there are also good quality.
Right. And there are some.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can find good brands that also made them floral print. But the Bullseye's playground area in Target, not a great place to buy garden trowels, even though they're really cute.
Yeah. So I think one thing that I don't have that I would like is a trowel with a serrated edge.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Fiskars makes a good one.
They do.
So that I think is something, it's $20 or so. So it's more than I'm going to just walk in and buy because I don't really need it, but I want it.
Fiskars is nice for like middle line garden tools. They're good enough to like do real work.
Yeah.
They're not quite like Felco.
Yes.
Which I have my eye on. Someday I want a nice pair of Felcos.
Oh man. That just reminds me. I want a chainsaw.
Ooh. We went to, where were we? Home Depot or something last weekend, and we were going in for kitchen project things, and we saw a couple about our age coming out, and he's carrying a brand new chainsaw and not looking particularly excited. And I turned to Nick and I said, I wonder if that was, that looks like a fun purchase, but it must have been quite necessary because he did not look like he was having a very good day.
Yeah. Oh no. So yes, really good tools. So yeah, all kinds of tools, I think. This can get tricky too because you have to know what kind of tools your gardener uses a lot of.
Yeah, I recommend that sticking with like the tried and true tools. There's really not too many trowels you can have. I could have 10 trowels and be fine with it.
And pruners.
Yeah, but those like funky tools that like are supposed to do this one super specific job without taking any physical effort at all, maybe know your gardener a little bit more on those, because sometimes they're a joke. I mean, sometimes they're saying they can do things that they can't do.
Right.
Sometimes that's a fun thing to try out as a gift, is a tool that may or may not work because you wouldn't make that investment every day for yourself. Right. But if your gardener is somebody who just likes to use their standard array of tools that they trust and they know, stick to those. Stick to your trowels, your pruners, your weed diggers. But if you have somebody who likes to experiment and like try the next funky invention, then try some of those things.
Yeah, and I think I've heard really good things about that. Is it called like the Grandpa's Weed Puller?
Yeah, me too.
I've heard amazing things about that. So maybe especially if you're working with a gardener who's starting to have some back issues, because that really helps with back issues. That would be a good one.
Right.
Even though it's very specific.
My favorite gift is my drill auger. Yeah. I think they sell it as like a bulb planter or something. I use it to plant everything. And the extra arm for the top of the drill to go with it so you don't wrench your wrist. Yes. But I mean, it was like $20, I think. But I love that thing. I use it all the time.
When I was planting my bulbs this fall, I was like, oh, I should have listened to Sarah.
I told you to get one.
Yeah. I think also maybe they already have all the tools they want. Yeah. But they might need a sharpener, a tool sharpener. So you can get like a multi-tool that will do a pretty good job sharpening. You're going to have to eventually take your tools to an actual place to get sharpened. But in between those, you can keep your tools sharper.
Yeah. A grinding wheel does a good job. Some things to clean them, like mineral oil and stuff, especially if they have wood-handled tools that they need to oil. Yep. That's what a lot of I mean, that's what a lot of winter activities for gardeners is, really just cleaning your tools.
I've never once cleaned my tools.
Steel wool.
That's going to come back to bite me.
It is.
Now that you're talking about it, I was like, well, I've never done it.
Sometimes it's hard for non-gardeners to see how exciting that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if somebody gave me a box of steel wool and some mineral oil and said, here, watch a movie and clean your garden tools, I'd be thrilled.
Oh, I would not. Don't give me that. Know your gardener.
Yes. I think that'd be great, but I would also never go get it for myself.
For that, though, I feel like that's more about the time for you.
Yeah, you're right. It's more about giving me the time to sit down and do it than it is about the stuff to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But
well,
that works
gift
too.
them time.
Yeah.
Gift babysitting hours for spring planting, or gift dish doing so that they can, leave an everyday chore to go spend time in their garden.
And do something
That's
that they
a great
love.
gift. That wasn't even on our list. That was a great idea.
But I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that gardeners always want more of is time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Last tool that I think a lot of us don't keep around and could never have enough of is shears. A good set of shears. Yeah. You're not going to be able to use them all the time, but, I keep a pair of scissors with my gardening stuff because you got to cut the twine or you got to do this or that.
Herbs. I cut my herbs with scissors because sometimes they're too thin for the pruners.
Right, exactly. So a good pair of gardening, or even just if you are going to use it for herbs, just herb shears.
Well, they make those bud snippers that are like, they're spring loaded and they're kind of like pruners, but they're really short, and they're made for people who do cut flowers. So if you have somebody who grows flowers to make bouquets, those bud clippers, they clip a thinner stem than pruners, but a thicker stem than scissors.
Okay.
So they're like an in-between.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole new possibility of gifts, because I didn't even think about people who do like cut flower gardening. Ugh, so many things you could get for them.
Mm-hmm. Especially containers.
Mm-hmm. I got my sister for her birthday. Yeah, it was her birthday. A beautiful vase that was like, and I'll try to find it again so that we can put it in the show notes if you want it. But it was like a bust, but the vase opened like right across the nose, kind of like to the side. And so I put, since she's a spring birthday, so it was like peony time and all that. So I filled it with peonies and those giant allium things, so it looked like hair.
Yeah.
It was so pretty. I'll get a picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So things like that.
Pots in general.
Yeah.
Pots
and now
are expensive.
we're out of tools. But
we
yes,
are out
pots.
of tools. I think we're fine.
Okay. So we didn't get through all of our tools because you love these Japanese gardening knives.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
You
well,
need
I
to
don't know if I love them. I don't own one, but I want one real bad.
Hint.
Yeah.
Sarah wants a Japanese gardening knife.
I wanted to buy one in Portland, but I didn't think they'd let me on the plane with it because I didn't check a bag.
Yeah, you would have had to ship that.
I don't think they would have allowed that on a plane.
No.
But, oh, man, I want one. We also didn't talk about, like, things like kneeling pads. And
thick ones.
Yes. Don't get the flimsy ones. I kneel on a lot of rocks. I wear painter's knee pads.
Yeah.
Because I don't like carrying the kneeling thing around. They're just foam knee pads.
Right.
But then I don't have to carry it.
But then Bob uses just like a cushion, like a pillow.
Yeah.
Like an outdoor seating cushion thing.
It's like one that was done being used for seating because it is dirty now. But
yeah. And he says that works really well.
Yeah.
Also, it's basically recycled then.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's not very gift giving like.
No, but you could buy a new one.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Also, things, if your gardener is getting older, things that can make the job easier for them, like the carry-all garden stool that folds up so they can sit instead of kneel.
Right. And then also keep their stuff in it.
Yes.
And it has wheels,
Yeah.
so they don't have to lift.
Yeah. And some of them fold up if they are like, if they're a gardener who volunteers a lot and they need to take their stuff in the car with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All good things. Yeah. I would love a nice wheelbarrow or cart. Wheelbarrows are expensive, so that could go on the upper level.
Probably goes in our large gift area.
Yeah, because when I first bought my wheelbarrow, I was like, wow, this is expensive. So I got a plastic one because it's cheaper, but a nice metal wheelbarrow.
Excellent choice. Yeah. We could also go into clothing for gardeners.
Okay, so clothing for gardeners, I just put Duluth Trading Company.
Yeah, pretty much everything there is good.
I got a gardening shirt from them this year.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing. I wear it every time I garden.
What makes it amazing?
Okay. What doesn't make it amazing? So it's a long sleeve shirt, like button up shirt, but you can roll the sleeves back if you so choose. But depending on what you're gardening,
you might want them down.
You want them down. And it has SPF in it and a broad collar. So you can flip the collar up to protect your neck.
That is excellent.
If you're trying.
We need to get the whole staff those for Wildflower
I
Week.
know, right? But then it is also like breathable. It's got mesh spots so that it breathes. And then it has pockets all the way around it.
Oh, that's excellent.
So you can put all kinds of things. So it's kind of made my gardening apron obsolete.
Which is fine. Yeah. I have a tendency to put like things in the front pocket of my gardening apron and then bend over and get stabbed in the stomach by my weed digger. Yes. So having a pocket on my back for those things would be great.
Yeah, it has pockets all the way around. And then it has this little slit up at the top of the collar that you can fit like a pin or your sunglasses or something in to hold it. I don't know. I just love this shirt. And it also, the dirt doesn't stick to it.
And probably like stickers and things.
Right.
Yeah. That is great. Duluth, I bet it's the same kind of material. They made some gardening overalls and they had pants and shorts. And I love overalls for gardening, but mine are heavy denim.
Right.
And this would be great because in the summer you could still wear them when it's hot out and like fill your pockets up because you're bending down, you're getting up and down. Overalls are just the right clothing in the garden.
Yeah.
But they get hot.
You know, we're not sponsored by Duluth Trading Company, but we should be.
We should be. I would accept that sponsorship.
Yeah. I know we both own a bit of clothing from them.
Their really long bungee cords have been very helpful in plant hauling.
I swear by their SPF clothing because I have a few things with SPF in it and I never get burned.
I got these hiking pants with bug repellent in them one time. I really don't know if it worked.
Well,
it sounded cool.
It does. I have done some research on these. The key with that, I will put out a PSA on this. What they embed in it is very toxic to pets.
Oh.
So you can have it, just make sure you keep it in a place where like your cat's not going to snuggle up in it.
Runs off with clothes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, they worked. I just had also used bug spray, so I didn't know if it was them or...
Yeah, it's important in places that have tick-borne diseases, which is coming to Nebraska. Right. It's inching its way here. So that's something to think about if you do have someone who is in a place with a lot of ticks in their gardening. Yeah. Some of those clothes, they make socks and shirts and pants and all kinds of things. But yes, it does. It's... even if cats just rub up against it.
It's bad.
Yeah. Okay. So just keep that in mind if you have a cat lover.
Yeah.
Too.
Not to cross over. Yeah. Let's see. Also in clothing would be big floppy hats.
Oh my gosh.
And I know it's super stereotypical that like gardeners always wear floppy hats. Really, any hat. It's just the floppy ones also protect your neck because us gardeners tend to be like leaning over a lot.
Right.
So a ball cap only does so much.
Yeah. Since I got this shirt, I've been able to wear ball caps more because I just put the collar up.
Yeah. What else? Oh, harvest aprons. If you have a vegetable gardener, these are really fun. They're like, aprons that some of them are elastic, some are like bungee kind of things, so you can like lay it out flat over your lap, fill it up with produce, and then cinch it up.
Yes.
Or just keep it cinched up and add stuff. They make ones with specific holes for eggs. Yeah.
Fun. You can also make those if you're a crafty, if you like to make your presents for people.
It is on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not that hard from what I can tell.
No,
to make.
It's just a rectangle with some strings and some elastic.
Sure. I've made a few things in my day, but never an apron. Of course, we also must mention NSA clothing, because we do have, if you go to arboretumplants.org, we have long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, we have hats, we have all kinds of things. So if you have a Nebraska Statewide Arboretum or Bloom Box lover in your life,
we've got merch.
Get them a shirt. I plant Nebraska shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
It's great. We have tote bags, one that says there's probably plants in here.
We have a water bottle, a Bloom Box water bottle. If you are also, if you like to personalize things, I took our NSA hat and did some embroidery on it.
Yeah.
I put some native plants on it. So you can take something that's really basic that just does a job. You know, every gardener could use a hat, but maybe you think that's not personal enough to gift. Well, add something to it. There's some really pretty people painted hats. Yeah.
I'm not that talented, but you all can try.
I'm sure we have some great painters listening. Let's see. Should we go back to like useful things for a bit? Oh, rain boots and waterproof shoes.
Yes.
They're expensive.
They are. And there's so many different types of gardening shoes to choose from. So I guess just pick one.
Yeah. Well, either know your gardener or sometimes it takes a couple tries for the gardener to figure out what works for them. But, you know, rain boots or shoes for a specific purpose, some people don't spend that money on themselves. And so a gift is a great time to try out something that maybe will save their everyday shoes or just make gardening a little bit easier, and something that they wouldn't have gotten for themselves.
Well, you know, Crocs are back.
Yeah.
I don't feel
my feet are too sweaty for Crocs. That's never going to happen.
But I have heard good things about them as gardening shoes.
Well, you could rinse them off very easily. We used to use them for fishing because you could they just drained.
So there's so many options now. There's even expensive Crocs.
Yeah.
If you want to.
There's some surprisingly expensive Crocs.
Yeah, I don't know. It made a gift list for like some magazine I was looking at. They're like, get the platform Crocs. And I was like, platform Crocs?
That sounds uncomfortable and unsafe all at the same time.
I'm just like, they're cuter. And I was like, are they?
There's nothing about them that is, but maybe that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, but yes, all types of rain boots, shoes, gardening. Yeah. I think the key for me is to make sure that the shoes have toes in them. Yeah, because that's where you get into trouble with gardening.
Toed gardening shoes. Yep. I have a pet peeve about walking around with wet feet.
Oh, yeah.
So I would, sometimes when I came to the greenhouse to water, I would wear my like river shoes, you know, like that are made to drain water and dry fast, but they still technically have closed toes. Right. And that is what I think of when I pick a gardening shoe is, will this soak my feet and keep them wet? If so, no.
But also not like water socks.
No. They still need to protect your feet a little bit. And that's my river shoes that I wear for like floating in the Niobrara. They have like a rubber bottom. Right. But then it's all like, and a toe because there's lots of rocks. Yeah. But they're all mesh on top. So they drain water and then they dry fast. Yeah. But they still protect my feet.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Also, good gloves.
Yeah.
You can never have too many gloves either.
No, because they wear out.
They wear out, and in my garage, the mice eat them.
Oh, yep. Or they get left
the winter
places. You take them off to do something, and they've now been rained on, or I leave gloves at projects all the time because I take them off to write notes and then I leave them.
Especially if you know a rose gardener.
Yeah.
Then they definitely would appreciate a nice long pair of leather gloves.
Yeah. Or somebody who's doing a lot of reclaiming of a landscape or does a lot of like conservation planting in windbreaks and things.
Yeah. Places where they need to protect all the way up their arm.
Oh, that makes me think of there's these gardening sleeves.
Yeah.
That are like those sleeves that are covered in fake tattoos.
Right, yeah.
But they're made to protect you from like the brittle pieces of grass when you are pruning grass, or like, I don't know how much it'd protect from thorns, but it'll keep like...
I think they're supposed to be snag proof.
Okay.
Yes, and they also have SPF in them.
They do. Yeah.
So it's going to help with that sun protection. If you learn nothing about me and Sarah, it's that we like sun protection.
Or we've learned to like it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, should we move to some maybe more of the fun type things? Okay, this was all fun to us.
Fun.
The problem is that to non-gardeners, the things that excite gardeners the most seem boring. Like, I would get extremely happy over some nice new trowels.
Yes.
But I know that some of the people who give me gifts would think that was incredibly boring.
Or would have a hard time picking out a nice trowel.
Yes.
Which I totally get. If you don't garden, then it's hard to tell what a good tool is.
Exactly.
So yes, let's move on to some of these other things that maybe are a little bit easier. And I think you hit on one early, pots and vases.
Yeah.
Those are easy to pick out, and they're expensive, especially nice pots.
Yep, but this is the time of year to buy them.
Right. Yes, they're probably on sale.
Yeah. And then some things that can be used indoors, too, because if you're in Nebraska, you're not gardening outside right now, probably till, like, March.
And along with that, if you are gifting a good garden pot for inside maybe, then potting soil.
Oh my goodness, I run out of potting soil.
I'm always
all
out of
the
potting
time.
soil.
Constantly.
So just like
You know
put a
what?
bag of potting soil in
Just
that pot.
buy me a pallet of potting soil for Christmas.
pallet?
That'd be great. Just drop it in my backyard.
With that liftgate service, it's going to be real expensive. Oh no. Yeah, but a nice pot and some potting soil.
Yep.
Oh, I have so many plants sitting in vases that are just rooted out, and I'm like, oh, I gotta find a pot for
I
that.
have so many things that need their potting soil refreshed.
Yes.
But
I
was just at Lowe's this morning. Did I buy potting soil?
I
No.
was at Ace Hardware the other day, and I was like, oh, I need potting soil. So I went to look for it. They didn't have any.
Really?
They were completely out of non-succulent potting soil.
Because that's what they think everybody's potting right
No, it was just empty shelves. I
because
think.
people are actually
Yeah, I think people had bought it.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be restocked. I think I just had bad timing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I did have to come clean to my husband last week. I brought home some plants. And he goes, do you even have pots for those? And I said, yeah. No, I didn't. So I need to find some
I have
pots.
plants growing in all sorts of... I collect teapots. And so if I run out of pots, I will just plant things in teapots.
Yeah. I have some things planted in teacups.
Yep.
When they're
that.
like the little succulent babies.
Or if you're starting little sprouts. Yep.
They work well in that. Yeah, you can put it in anything. My mom has a really cool planter in her kitchen. She puts together she's a very thematic person.
Okay.
So her pots all have like a food theme. And at a estate sale, I think, because she's a big estate sale shopper, she found an old wooden Velveeta container. Like,
What?
yeah. But so it's like the rectangle Velveeta. And it says Velveeta on it.
Cool.
So she waterproofed the inside and planted stuff in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's really neat.
I just thought, too, while you were saying that, my brother last year for Christmas 3D printed me this geometric pot.
Ooh, cool.
He has a 3D printer and he likes to design things for it. And so it's really neat octagonal pot. So if you are a 3D printing sort of person, there are so many things you could make for gardeners. I mean, pots is one, but then things for plants to climb.
Yes. Everyone,
Yeah.
if you have indoor potted plants, you need a good trellis.
Yes. And 3D printing would be ideal because it'd be super lightweight, and you could
In one piece, probably.
probably, or you could customize it to like fit in the pot and
Be
in the
their
space.
initials.
It could. Oh, that'd be cool.
Very personalized. Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much stuff. Okay. So let's keep going because let's stick with indoor plants.
Okay.
Plant stuff.
Okay.
Because you also have on the list air plant holders.
Oh, yeah.
That's another way to go if they're not a potted plant person.
Right.
Maybe they do air plants.
And sprayers. There's some really pretty little plant sprayers.
And pretty like watering cans for indoor.
You know, I can never find my indoor watering can. That'd be a great present. I'm always like, I actually, half the time I just water my plants by dumping my glass of water in
Well,
them.
yeah, me too.
Because I'm like, oh, you need water, and I'll just dump my water glass in it. But I have 2 or 3 indoor watering cans. I don't know where they are.
And if they're pretty, you could leave them out.
You could. That's the problem, is I'm always trying to like find a place to put them, and then I forget where I put them.
I have
or
lost
it's not
things,
near
yes.
my water. So if it was something that could also be a shelf decoration, I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I have for indoor plants are these cute little plant pins.
Oh, yes. I saw these on your
Neither
list.
of us have these, but we want them.
If you want to gift us something,
Yeah.
you can gift us these.
They are these magnetic pins, so they don't hurt the plants. And I would recommend doing them inside because, you know, not outside because, 1, it's winter, and 2, somebody might eat them.
Well, yeah, the
And
size they're
Yeah.
like little sunglasses
Yeah.
and faces to put on your plants. And they're small enough, I don't think
It's
you'd
like
notice
jewelry
them outside.
for your plants.
Yeah. Do they call them something like that?
I don't know, but they have, like Sarah said, little eyeballs, like googly eyes or sunglasses or things. But then I now see that's what's
There's
been
a
advertised to me.
bee.
But yeah, there's like a bugs and fruit, and there is even holiday themes. There's pride theme. So yeah, I think it would be a fun way if you have somebody who's really into indoor plants and they want to decorate them up a bit. It could be a good time.
They have a Band-Aid.
Oh, a Band-Aid.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, so many of my plants would need that.
Yeah.
They need an actual Band-Aid. So those are really fun
Those
and
are
cute.
cute.
And it's probably something that people aren't going to buy for themselves.
No, but it would be a cute little, price-wise, they're a cute little stocking stuffer.
Yeah, you can get a 4-pack for $20.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, what else is on our list for indoors? Grow lights.
yes, a good grow light. Especially grow lights that can also double as people lights. Because you need vitamin D in the winter, people.
And so you can go fancy with this and buy specific grow lights. You can also just go to the hardware store, and in the light bulb section, they have grow light bulbs that have the full color spectrum, but they just go in your table lamp.
Yeah,
And
I've done that.
if you've seen like the usually very expensive seasonal depression lamps, they are grow lights.
Right.
So if you need one of those, you could use a grow light, or if you need a grow light and you have one of those, you did cross purposes.
And along with that, a good plug-in timer.
Yeah.
So that your lights will turn on and off.
I
at a
always used
certain
a
time.
Christmas tree timer.
Yeah, that works too.
And there's also some like the ones now that connect to your phone, so you can turn it on and off when you want to, or set it on a schedule.
Yes. And I guess if we're talking about indoor plants, I think one thing I miss in the winter is my fresh cut herbs.
Yeah.
So herb garden, whatever that means to you, because, there's those, if you are looking for a bigger gift as a family or something, there's those intricate herb systems you can Google. You'll find them. They're like $500. Depends on the size of your family. Sometimes they're $3,000.
They're as tall as you are.
Right. There's all different types of systems out there. So maybe that's something, especially if you're trying to be healthier, if that's a family goal.
Or do something together as a family. You can take care of it together. Or you can just put a pot on your windowsill.
You can just do. I started going I was like, going down a rabbit hole with these. I was like, can I make my own aquaponics and stuff? And then I thought to myself, just put it in a pot with a grow light and it's going to be fine.
But there's some really neat, I think, even like the Kiwi Crate has an herb growing kit. So you can, if you're trying to get kids involved or have a family activity, there are things like that you can build together, but it can also just be really simple.
You can even use like an old fish tank. I thought about taking one of my fish tanks because for some reason I have like 3 in my basement and making it an herb terrarium. Yeah, an herbarium. Oh, yeah, that's right. For those herbs that needed a little more humid and warmer, you can keep an enclosed space a little warmer, more easily. Or there's
those micro green growing kits that are, a fish tank seems very similar to those.
Yes. Yeah. So you could do a little research, get all the stuff for that. If you're interested in a fish tank, I have 3, so find me. I've been trying to get rid of them.
That would be a great, if you're into buy nothing groups, I have no doubt you could find some fish tanks floating around in those.
Yep. Yeah.
Floating around.
So all of those things would be fun, especially if you're trying to come up with like a family activity type of a gift.
How about mushroom grow kits?
That would be cool too.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, I am not interested, but
I know that you can do this. There's like basement mushroom grow kits, which if I just had this thought that if you're trying to sell your house, probably don't grow mushrooms in your basement. The house inspector might not approve, but they're like enclosed. This isn't just like freely grow fungus around your house. They're enclosed kits.
I know, and we're gonna have Denise on at some point to talk about mushroom growing. She's our go-to mushroom expert, but I know she has also done a laundry basket technique.
Yes,
of
where
growing.
They grow out the holes.
Yes, of the laundry basket. So just Google that. Or we'll maybe put something in the show notes if we find something.
Well, and so they also have like outdoor ones where you can inoculate your garden.
Right.
And I know Denise, she can tell us more about it, but there's like things to inoculate your wood chips. I also keep getting these ads on social media for this thing where they're like these little plugs. And so you drill holes in like rotten logs and stick these plugs in and then just set them in your garden.
I know our friend Kyle did that.
Oh, okay.
And it worked.
So if you have a mushroom lover, then maybe they want to try growing them.
Give the gift of a new hobby.
Yeah.
And these are really intense hobbies for some people.
Yes.
There's the Mycological Society of Nebraska.
Yeah.
So you can look into those. It could be fun.
I know Denise was studying the history of human use of mushrooms, which sounds fascinating, but also maybe more in depth than I wish to go.
Maybe you could. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do for gifts is give experiences.
Yeah.
Maybe you could find someone who hunts mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
And pay them to set up a guided tour or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right?
That'd be very cool.
That'd be fun. So there you go. There's some ideas. Oh, juices are flowing now.
Yeah, now I'm getting ideas. Okay. So what about like totally not functionally garden gifts, but things that gardeners might enjoy?
Like a puzzle.
Yeah.
I love a good puzzle, especially in the winter.
And there's some really cute either garden themed ones or like information based ones where you put the puzzle together and learn some scientific names while you do it.
Or you could get a picture of their garden, put it on a puzzle.
Yeah.
A custom puzzle for them of their garden.
Or if they have a garden they really like to show off, you could get a really nicely printed and framed photo.
Yeah, I think that's another thing to keep in mind. Did they travel somewhere, like to the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, and really enjoy it? Is there something from their gift shop that you could get them to remind them of that?
Yeah.
That trip.
Yeah. There's also gardening journals.
Yes. And these, I think, can be a variety of types of journals because some people just want a blank journal where they can keep track of, like, this bloomed in June, the 3rd week, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then there's more guided journals, too.
And then there's maybe a lot of farmers and gardeners will keep weather journals.
Yes.
And there's lots of templated weather journals that you can get. And I know people who have very dedicatedly kept these for years and go back and look at them to see how things change or what to expect and make their own predictions.
Right. And also in the winter, it can be good for planning their garden.
Yeah.
The seed catalogs come out, so especially if they are vegetable gardeners that like to start from seed, having a journal where they can go say, oh, I got this catalog and it had this seed and I want to try it in this area. They can kind of sketch out and play in their garden this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's some graph paper and colored pencils would be great.
For you.
Yeah.
I can't draw my own garden.
That's fair. My problem with gift giving is I really like finding secondhand things or making my things.
Sure.
And so it's tough when it comes to gift giving because, well, I could ask you to give me that, but I'd really rather just make it the way I want it.
Well, you can have one of my defunct fish tanks.
Thanks. My husband will be thrilled. But think about, a lot of times there are gardeners who are gardeners because they like to create. And so just supplies that they can, maybe you gift it and you call it a garden journal kit. But it's really just a lot of nice pens and nice paper and things for them to use as they see fit.
Colored pencils, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a few more things that you can take outside, and then we will talk about bigger gifts.
Okay.
So these are things like a composting bin or something like that.
Wait, you're not including that in the big things?
I think it depends on the composter.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Because, I built my composting bin for $30.
True.
So I think it depends on what kind of a gardener you have.
Yeah.
Yes, there are really nice composters as well.
Yes.
That you could purchase. A watering wand. We didn't cover that.
We didn't cover that. Just a simple. The simpler they are, usually the better they work.
Soaker hoses. That's usually inexpensive, but you can't have enough of them.
You cannot have enough. The second you think you have enough, you need more.
And the ones that I have gotten more into, rather than the slow drip ones, are the ones that have holes poked in them.
So they let a little more water out.
They let a little more water out, and usually they have a white line on one side, and that's where the holes are. And so you can either put that down if you want it to go directly into the soil, or if you want more of a sprinkler spray,
you could spray
a mist, you can point it up and do it. And that's what I've been using to establish my new gardens every year. It's been very good.
Yes. Along with that would be, maybe I'll save that for the bigger ones.
Okay. Well, should we get into the big ones?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Rain gauges.
Yes.
These are fun because they're super useful and necessary for gardeners, but you can get them very pretty. And you can put a lot of thought into the stand and do people like bunnies? Do they like windmills? Things like that. You can really customize them.
And I feel like you need rain gauges throughout your garden.
I like to have them in multiple places.
You can't have just one rain gauge.
If you've got gardens under trees, then you need some out in the open and some under the trees. I like to have multiple ones. I have a big one that I can read from the window if we should ever get another big rain event. But it only reads down to the 1/2 inch. So I also have a tiny one that reads down to the 100th.
Right.
So that I can, go out and get a better reading. And along with that is bird feeders and bird houses is the same kind of thing.
Which could also be expensive.
Yeah,
bird baths are expensive.
Oh my goodness, bird baths are especially the heated ones.
Oh yeah, that's extra.
Technically, bird houses are very simple. But
another thing you could make. Oh my gosh, how cute! If your little toddler painted a birdhouse for grandma.
Oh, she would love it.
Yeah.
But then you can also get really fancy ones if somebody started bird watching and is getting more into it. You could invest in nicer things for them.
And more specific bird feeders for like Oriole bird feeders or things like that.
Yeah.
That are there to attract specific birds. Might be something to think about. And that's a good time to talk. If you're going to do that, I would try to find like a bird store.
Yeah.
Because there's some bird feeders out there that are not great.
Right.
So go somewhere where they're going to be able to give you advice.
Yeah. Okay. I think you added this seed storage box.
Yes, because I Googled it. It's just like you can get once again, could be simple. You could make it yourself. Could be elaborate. The one I found was a hand-carved wooden box. But especially if you have someone who collects seed from their garden to save for the next year, they need a place to keep all those little packets.
Right.
So a good box where they're going to stay dry and they know where they all are is going to be very helpful. So I think a seed storage box for a seed gardener.
Right. Especially if their seeds need to be stored in the fridge, then that box can kind of keep everything contained and identified as seed and not get, mixed in and in the way of food.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. Is it time for the big things?
It's time for the big stuff. All right, y'all. Here's where we're getting into it. So we already talked a little bit about composting. Yeah. Because you can get
very simple ones.
Very simple. Or you can get very elaborate ones that are going to be expensive.
But you can get you can get very fancy with your compost. You can get into like worm farming with your compost. And then there's like the compost bins that you can keep in your kitchen that I don't know enough about the ones that actually compost on your counter to say anything about those, and I don't have enough counter space for that.
I've looked into them. They seem amazing.
They do seem amazing.
I kind of want it. It's
I want to know if they
$500.
Yeah, I'm not investing until I know if the thing works. But if you're a composter and you like to compost your food waste, then you need something to carry that out to the compost in. And it can be,
a bucket.
Most people I know just use an old ice cream bucket, but they sell ones that like have a filter in the top so that if you don't take it out today, it doesn't smell or things like that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of options when it comes to composting.
Yeah. Grow lights can also fall in this category of really big purchases. Yes. If there's somebody with a little greenhouse, some grow lights that could work in that, they can cost a little bit more.
Rain barrels.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They can get expensive.
They can. Once again, you can make your own pretty cheap, but you can also buy really nice ones.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about.
Yep. Wheelbarrows and garden carts. Those are an investment.
What about like a motorized garden cart?
Oh, my goodness.
That'd be fun.
A shed.
Oh, yeah. A garden shed.
You could do as simple as those like tough sheds that just come like they look like playhouses to me, but they're garden sheds. Or if you're the carpenter type, you could build a little garden shed. These don't have to be huge. Like not all garden sheds you can walk into. Some are just enclosed places to set your tools.
A nice potting bench. Ooh.
Yeah.
Those are cute.
They are cute.
I don't know if I would use it, but I want one just because they're cute.
Yeah, I would definitely decorate it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I would just think about if you're looking for a big gift, what are some things that will help people enjoy their garden more when they can?
Seeding.
Yes, so seeding. Give them a big gift card.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
a big nursery gift card would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about giving trees. Like you could do that. I mean, they're not going to get planted right now, but you could give a big gift card for a tree.
If you're thinking ahead, there's places that will sell you a live Christmas tree in a pot that then you can plant. So you could buy it, around this time of year, you could decorate it in your house and then you could go plant it.
Yes. So think about what those things, a fountain.
Ooh. Or, I was thinking about this when we mentioned hoses, but those, like the leaf sensors.
Oh, yeah.
That sense how much rain we've received, and they can stop your irrigation from turning on if we receive enough rain.
Yeah.
So that you don't get tricked by those little sprinkles into thinking, your plants actually got watered.
A weather station.
Ooh, yeah.
That you can get the readings inside, like a digital weather station.
Yeah. We just had an alarming thump in our building.
Distracted us. Sorry. So those would all be really good. I mean, we already talked about the indoor growing station, but even if you have someone who does start their seeds inside,
just
like shelving, like a big shelving thing with the lights on it, would like
just one of those big wire shelves from like Lowe's. Mm-hmm. Those would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are so many options, and I hope that we help you.
I hope we gave you some ideas. You don't necessarily need to take each of our ideas specifically. Right. Oh, I did include that hose that Karma told us about.
Oh, yeah.
It is a stainless steel hose. This thing is apparently indestructible. You can drive over it.
She says worth it.
Allegedly cannot be kinked. And
Forever Steel.
Yeah, it's called a Forever Steel hose. It's like $80. That can't possibly be true. See all buying options.
80 seems.
No, it says
it's like 60 to anywhere between 60 and 65
for a 50-foot hose.
For 50-foot hose,
which is not bad.
So if you know somebody who is constantly upset about their kinking hose or how they're replacing their hose every year, because if you are replacing your hose every year, hoses are not cheap anyways.
No, this doesn't seem that far off from a mid-range hose. And
she says that they're lightweight enough that you can still haul them around.
Right. Yeah. That would have concerned me being metal, but this is just one brand. It looks like there's a whole lot. And the ad video, they're trying to hack it in half with some pruners, which...
Yeah, but are they sharp?
I don't know. And also, it really bothers me that that's going to damage the pruners.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay, well, there's hose storage. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh my gosh,
that gets expensive.
Hose storage.
Those hose roller upper boxes. Yeah, there's a lot. There's
unending gifts for gardeners. If you know your gardener, and here's my tip for next year. As they're gardening, write down everything they complain about.
Yeah.
And then present a solution.
And mostly it's going to be that it hasn't rained.
Right, which...
We know you can't fix that.
Yeah.
But you can get them a rain gauge for when it does.
There you go. I like it.
Okay, well, happy holiday shopping. And
if you're doing it.
Otherwise,
happy Giving Tuesday.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Anything else coming up we need to talk about?
Those are the main things.
It's kind of that time of year where we fade out of the spotlight for a little bit.
I think one thing you all should know is you might be saying, wait, Hannah and Sarah, books.
Oh, yeah. We did not touch books, did we?
Don't you worry, because we will have an entire episode about books. Books you cannot contain.
No.
So we're going to be talking about books. Don't worry.
We're going to save books for December 26th. That will be our book episode, because we know a lot of you will have fresh book gift cards. And also it's a cozy couple weeks when a lot of us are off of school and taking time off work, that we're sitting around with time to read.
Avoid your family, and you're like, oh, I'm reading, sorry.
Yeah, very important. Learning here.
Yes. So there you go. So yes, we're going to cover books.
Yes.
All right, it's time to talk about plant of the week.
Okay, plant of the week. Mine is my Thanksgiving cactus.
Yeah.
Most of you are going to be like, wait, didn't you mean Christmas cactus?
Nope.
It looks like a Christmas cactus, but I have a Thanksgiving cactus, so it blooms in November, and I love it. It always makes my office so happy, and I have not managed to kill it. I'm very good at killing office plants, especially since, a lot of my year I'm not even in my office. But this thing, it can go weeks without water. And then if I just remember to water it again in November, it starts blooming just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yes, I love your Thanksgiving cactus. It's gorgeous. I am anxiously awaiting my Christmas cactus.
Oh, yes.
To bloom. So, because I have a real Christmas cactus. So I'll leave that one out.
Okay.
But I want to talk about my coleus.
Oh, yes.
Because I brought my coleus in for the winter. It's something that in the past I've just left out and let it die over the winter because I put it in planters outside. But then I thought, okay, well, I have two options. I could bring the planters inside and try to keep it alive, or you can take cuttings because it's a pretty easy plant to take cuttings from what I've heard. I've never done it. And then I can have stuff to plant next spring and not have to buy it again.
Right.
Trying to save some money here, people, which just will mean I'll spend it on other plants.
Yep.
But so I have brought, and I'll send a picture, I have brought 2 giant pots of coleus into my house, and they are doing great. They're blooming again.
Oh, nice.
And it has made a corner of my dining room look like a jungle because I already had a lot of plants over there. So I just added them to it.
I love an indoor jungle.
I know. It's pretty nice. So I'll like turn on the grow lights in the morning when I sit down for breakfast, and it just gives me a little oomph in the morning among my jungle and my grow lights. So that's my plan of the week is my coleus.
Love it. All right. Well, we will be back with you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We hope you enjoy our gift-giving guide. Someday it'll be like Oprah's guide. We're hopeful.
People will be waiting for this gift guide.
You can help us get there.
Which is extremely helpful coming out the day you're shopping.
Right, exactly. So please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. Please feel free to send in your questions. We know this time of year they slow down, but if you have a question like, hey, Sarah, what should I get you for Christmas? You could email that.
Well, let me tell you.
And we will be happy to answer your questions. So thank you for listening. Bloombox and Bloombox Growing Deeper are both programs of the Nebraska Statewide Arboretum.